close with Ms. Heard growing up?
We were.
And
Hi,
you're still
guys.
close now, right?
This is CPA Advocate.
And you love
I
her.
wanted to take this
course.
cross because this has been such an
And
interesting case.
Your childhood, though, had
I'll
some
give my
difficult
little
moments,
intro
right?
in a little bit when I get a
It
little
wasn't
time,
perfect.
but this is a cross-examination
Your father
of the
hit
Amber
you and
Heard
your sister
trial.
at times, right?
And right now it's her sister
Yes.
up on the stand
And
and
your
they're
sister would
cross-examining her.
protect
I
you
wanted to
from that abuse.
I
when she
wanted
could,
to
wouldn't she?
share this with you guys.
We would protect each other, for sure.
And when you graduated from high school, you moved out to Los Angeles, right?
I did.
And your sister gave you a place to live in LA?
Yes.
And she helped support you?
In part, I also was working myself, and yeah.
And you're grateful to her for being there when you needed her, right?
Of course.
Hey, content creators, I just
Oh
wanted
my
to give some
God.
recommendations on exactly which TubeBuddy license would be best for.
Didn't pay for those either, right?
And when I can, of course, but
During the course of Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's relationship, you were frequently involved in their arguments, weren't you?
yes,
In fact, you had a nickname, right?
marriage counselor.
Yes. You often found yourself mediating disputes between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, right?
Sorry about that.
Clearly not
Technical
very well,
difficulties.
but yes.
Still learning.
And when you were in that role of marriage counselor, you empathized with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes, on occasion.
Because you had a pretty good understanding of what he was going through.
It depended on the situation. Sometimes I could totally see from his perspective. Other times I saw it from her perspective.
But you'd been there with Ms. Heard before, right?
We're sisters. Of course we've argued.
And you knew what it was like to want to run away for days and do your own thing and not have Ms. Heard there fighting with you, right?
I think that's kind of taken out of context a little bit. I think more metaphorically. But yes, I have been in arguments with my sister.
And you have wanted to run away for days, right?
Sure.
And not have her there fighting with you.
Sure.
You talked a little bit about the incident in March
Team Johnny
2013, right?
Amber lied a lot.
Which one?
That
But
was
her
the
sister
one
seems a little bit
before,
more
you
believable,
went to the
even
Keith
though
Richards
Yes.
documentary set.
she's kind
And
of.
you were present with Mr. Depp at Orange that day.
I was.
Didn't you
I
do
wouldn't say
cocaine with Mr.
mutilating,
Depp
but
that
she's
afternoon?
kind of,
Yes.
seems like she's truthful
And
about what Johnny did.
You said Mr.
Johnny
Depp's already
isn't a saint,
intoxicated,
of course,
He
but
was by the time I got there.
and he was
there's
fighting
been
with your
no real
sister.
evidence. I'm talking about of a domestic abuse.
He wasn't doing much of anything. He was sat at
Not
the
one
table.
picture.
He was
I mean, this
telling
has
me
been
about the
over
fight
a
that they
year
had.
and a half time.
So
It
you've
was
been
2 or 3
fighting,
year
you've been
time
fighting with your
span.
sister that
And
day
they
when
have
you
a
arrived.
couple
That was my
pictures of
understanding.
her abuse bruises
And
on
you said
people
she had a
saying, oh, that's
puffy face.
Botox. And what. It's
Yes.
nothing conclusive.
And
So,
despite all of that, you
it's
decided
just,
it was a good idea to do cocaine
not
with Mr.
proven.
Depp at that
I
juncture.
hadn't yet connected the dots. I hadn't yet understood what that meant or what that would do.
That was a yes. Yes, you took cocaine with Mr. Depp.
I
after all
did.
that.
Yes, I already said that.
Mm. She seems a bit more believable, but she's kind of nasty.
You testified that you had suspicions that Mr. Depp was allegedly hitting your sister by some point in 2013, right?
Suspicions.
And notwithstanding that, in June 2013, you were actually joking with Mr. Depp about hitting your sister, right?
Regrettably over a text message, yes.
You were encouraging him to hit her,
I was not literally encouraging him to hit her.
but you were joking about it.
Regrettably, yes. Again, I did not have an understanding fully of what that was. I never would have said that now, knowing what I know.
But that was alleged. That was around the time that you allegedly became aware that he was.
I don't
there were
know.
injuries on your sister that caused you to have suspicions.
I don't know if it was around the same time.
Turning to the staircase incident in March 2015, you testified that Mr. Depp allegedly hit you during that incident, right?
Yes.
But you weren't sure if that contact was even meant for you, right?
I honestly don't. I don't know what he was aiming for. My back was to him.
And you weren't injured during that incident, right?
No, I wasn't.
And you didn't seek medical attention?
No,
And you said Debbie Lloyd was there during all of that, correct?
she was.
And Mr. Depp's security, Travis McGivern, was there too?
Yes, he was.
And you saw your sister hit Mr. Depp on the stairs that day, right?
After he struck me, yes.
Oh, he hit you too.
You said she landed one, right? And then the next day you found some damage in the adjoining penthouse.
Correct.
And we saw some pictures of what you saw that day, right?
Yes.
You thought it was important to document that damage, right?
Not to document. It was Kevin's job to kind of clean up the houses, take care of the houses. I took pictures just so he could be aware of what he would need to bring. I didn't know if he had tools here or whatever. I was just preparing him for what he was going to have to fix.
But you didn't take any pictures of your sister that day, right?
No, I didn't.
Nobody
After
has
March
any evidence of any
2015,
hits for Amber.
you continued to have a close relationship with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes,
And you still loved him,
of course.
and you were there for him if he needed you, right?
Of course.
And in fact, just a couple of weeks after that staircase incident, you were still acting as the marriage counselor, weren't you?
At some point, sure.
And that fall, after the staircase incident, October 2015, you claim you had seen Mr. Depp hitting your sister. And then in October 2015, you were actually still trying to reconcile him and your sister when they were fighting, right?
Yes, I was asked to support. I was just trying to help what I thought they both wanted. I was just trying to support, or trying my best to support them the way that I thought I could.
You still loved Mr. Depp at that point, right?
I did.
Even though he was beating
And
your
you
sister.
didn't think that he and your sister were past the point of no return, right?
What I thought was irrelevant at that point. I really, those two were in love and they were working very hard. They wanted to be together, it seemed like. So,
Honey, if he's beating her, bye.
as best as I could. I don't know how else to describe
Please.
Your sister still wanted to be with Mr. Depp, right?
it. She loved him.
That's
And
love.
you didn't think they were past the point of no return.
I don't know what you mean by that exactly.
Okay. Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1283. It's not yet in evidence. We'll just show that to the witness. I've got this. If I might approach, Your Honor, I have this in redacted and unredacted.
Okay, you want to come forward?
This trial is so interesting. And everybody seems to be, based on what I see in the comments and everything, Team Johnny. And I understand why. Now, this sister, she came up and she's come up with a little bit more evidence to, give a little bit of proof in terms of her testimony, but they still don't have any pictures. They don't have any real evidence. And so if he beat her especially for as long as they're claiming that he was doing it, even if it's a week, but then we're talking years, they have no real pictures. They have no real pictures of her being like. They need to talk to Rihanna. Like Rihanna had a picture one night. It only took one night, and she proved that she got beat up. That this is over a year, 2 years time, 2 or 3 years time span, and they have nothing but little rosacea on the cheeks. And I mean, come on, they haven't proven that Johnny was beating her. Now, like I said, in any relationship, you have arguments, you have little tussles and tugs that, and shouldn't be probably. I'm not advocating that, but I'm just saying, come on, they've proven nothing in terms of her beating, but she has admitted to hitting Johnny, and if you're scared of somebody's beating you anyway, you're not hitting them. So that's why everybody, I think, is so Team Johnny, talking about her, calling her turd, Amber turd. And the comments are just sick. But they're funny because it's hard to believe that he doesn't seem like he hit or laid a finger on any of the things that they've talked about, any of the instances. He was the one that was trying to walk away, get out. Now, he was a mean drunk. And so he said his mouth is foul and nasty, but so is hers. And he said some mean things. He called her a cunt and called her all kinds of names that were inappropriate. But in terms of really and truly beating this woman, no, he hasn't proven it, but he has proven that she's beat him. He throws and breaks things in a rage, but I guess he feels like he can pay for them. Okay, we're back.
Ms. Enriquez, if I could just direct your attention, if we can go to the third page, please.
Do I have control of this or no?
No, you do not. Sorry,
Okay.
we'll put it up for you.
I don't know if he was actually.
And we can go back to the first page if you'd like, or we can take a look at the unredacted version if we need to. But do you recognize these as text messages that you sent to Mr. Depp on October 2nd, 2015?
Yeah, vaguely. I mean, they're clearly my text messages, but yeah, I recognize them, I think.
Okay. And if we can go to the third page, please, Tom.
Dun, dun, dun.
And you'll see the second blue box from the bottom there. You texted Mr. Depp and you said, I love both of you so much and would fucking stay out of it if I thought this shit were past the point of no return. But that's not where you guys are right now. Did I read that right?
Mm-hmm. That you didn't know what point of no
Oh,
return
but
was.
that's not where you guys are at. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't think they were past the point of no return in October 2015, right?
At that point, clearly, I didn't.
You can take that down.
Oh.
You wanted Ms. Heard to stay with Mr. Depp even after you allegedly saw him hit her, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really oversimplifying something that's far from simple. Again, Amber was very much in love. So was Johnny. She's telling me that she wants something. Whether or not I agreed to it or not, whether or not I was okay with what was happening, it
Girl,
wasn't my
if he's
place.
hitting your
If my
sister,
sister said that she
your
still
advice
wanted
should
to
be
with
get
Johnny,
out, run.
if I could help with that in
Period.
any way, I was going to support her. I was going to be there for her to support that.
Yeah, you didn't want to contradict your sister, right?
Pardon?
They
You
didn't want to get that
contradict
money,
your sister.
lose that money.
I don't know if I'd characterize it that way. I was trying to support my sister the best that I could or knew how or thought she wanted.
And you say you wanted to protect her though, right?
At that point, I don't know if I would categorize it as that. I was just trying to support my sister.
Mm.
You went to Coachella with your sister for her 30th birthday in 2016, right?
Yes.
And you testified that you were aware, I believe, that she and Mr. Depp had fought the night before.
You could turn your microphone on, Ms. Bretterhoff. Okay, withdrawn. All right. You can answer the question, ma'am.
Yes, I was aware that they had argued the night before.
You didn't see any bruises on Miss Heard at Coachella that year, though, right?
Yeah, she was wearing a lot of makeup.
You didn't see any marks on her?
Not that I can recall.
Didn't notice any swelling, right?
To the best of my recollection, I don't.
I mean, Johnny
And your
has to
sister
be a
didn't have a
genius to be
working
able
phone
to
on
beat
her
her
that day, did
and
she?
not put a mark on her
No, she didn't.
But you did.
and not
Yes,
bruise
you
her.
did. And you wanted Mr. Depp to know that Miss Heard's phone wasn't working, right?
I believe I reached out to him for her, yeah.
And you were encouraging him to reach out to her through you if he was trying to reach her, right?
I believe so at one point, yes.
You didn't want him to think that he was ignoring her.
I'm sorry?
You didn't want him to think that he was ignoring her, right?
Sure.
And you wanted them to reconcile, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Amber really wanted him there. Despite the fact that they had had a fight the night before, it was very complicated. It was very nuanced. You know, they fought, they got back together. They fought, they loved each other. They hated each other, they loved each other. I just remember her wanting Johnny to come to Coachella at some point. I wasn't trying to reconcile them. I was just trying to help facilitate.
And you did that even though you were concerned about marks that you say you'd seen on her since at least 2013 and during the course of their relationship, right?
Again, that's really oversimplifying something. We all saw this. We all thought that we would see Johnny on the other end of this. Because again, when he was sober, things were wonderful. When he wasn't sober, they were terrible, sure, but we all thought that he was just going to get better.
What about
We
when
all
she
wanted
was
to
sober?
see
Y'all
the
keep
other side
talking
of that.
about
So yes,
how
sure,
Johnny
you look at
was,
it simply,
and he was the
but it's not
West, and
simple
so
at
was
all.
she.
I don't know how else to answer it.
And this was after you allegedly saw him hit her, right?
Yes,
And you knew that they had just had another fight, right?
yes.
Mhm. You turned over all the racks.
You know who Jennifer Howell is, right, Ms. Enriquez?
I do.
She's the founder of the Art of Elysium nonprofit.
She is.
And you worked there for a time, didn't you?
I did.
Around May 2015, you actually moved in with Ms. Howell, right?
May 2015? Yes.
And you moved out of the penthouses because at that point you and your sister were fighting, right?
It was around the time that, he had accused me of leaking stories, and that was the impetus of me leaving.
And you testified earlier, I think, that he had asked you to sign an NDA, right?
At some point.
And that was around the same time that he was concerned you were leaking stories about their wedding to the media?
I believe so.
You and Ms. Howell were close?
We were.
Close enough that you lived with her for around a year?
I don't recall if it was that long.
And you confided in Ms. Howell, right?
About some things, yes. She was my friend.
You called her your chosen sister? Ms. Enriquez, you claim to have seen signs of injuries on your sister during the course of her relationship with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes.
But you never witnessed any incidents that resulted in visible injuries to your sister, right?
Not a one.
Other than the staircase incident? I witnessed that incident. What are you asking me exactly?
You never witnessed any incidents that resulted in signs of injury that you were concerned about over the course of their relationship?
Other than the staircase incident, I did witness that.
No, at no other time when you...
No, that was the only time that I saw him.
And you didn't see what caused any of the injuries you claim to have seen during the course of their relationship, right? Other than the staircase incident.
Yeah, staircase incident is the only one that I saw.
But you have seen your sister land a blow on Mr. Depp, right?
That was the time, yes, after he hit me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, redirect.
I have no redirect.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
No, she may be
Is subject to recall? No? Okay, all right, ma'am, you are free to go, or you can stay in the courtroom. It's up to you, okay? Thank you.
Now, her testimony, like I said, was more
right.
convincing than
Next
Amber's
witness, Your Honor,
ever
is
was
a
on any other
deposition
witness.
designation.
Okay.
It's going to be,
How long is it?
this particular one is about 45 minutes.
Okay. All right, well, we go ahead and, it's early, but why don't we go ahead and take our afternoon recess, though? That way we can get everything ready for you. So we'll just take our 15-minute break now, and then we'll come back and have that deposition, okay? So we'll see you in 15 minutes. Don't do any outside research, and don't talk to anybody. So if that's 45 minutes, then what do you have another,
Yes, then we have another one.
it's another
We have
deposition?
a few more.
Okay, so they're both depositions.
Yeah, all the rest of them today are depositions.
Okay, I just want to make sure we don't need any other items from that. Okay, that's fine. We'll come back at 3:05 then? Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, guys, I'm back. I just wanted to watch that with you guys because, like I said, first of all, I want to say that welcome to my channel. Sorry, they came in so fast that I didn't get a chance to introduce the show, but I wanted to say that, you know, thanks for tuning in. This, of course, is a community built to have an open dialogue to discuss and make topics that make a difference to help make our society better. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to tune in weekly to listen to weekly episodes of CP Advocate. I wanted to pop in on the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial because it's been very interesting. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch some of it. It's really interesting. Some of it's boring, but I think the Johnny's lawyers are doing an excellent job in proving that he is not an abuser. Which normally, when we're talking women and, any woman that gets, beat by men because, men are physically more capable of being the abusers, hurting and harming a woman. Not to say men don't get domestically abused, but it's more of if they are getting abused, they tend to not tell anybody because they don't want to appear to be weak or not able to defend themselves. But women, on the other hand, it's more of a situation when domestic violence occurs. They're the ones that's usually um, reporting that there's been a problem. Well, Johnny had sued her for $50 million because it when she put out after their divorce, she got $7 million. She put out that Johnny was abusing her, and it did. I think it damaged some of his future possibilities for films and things of that nature. So he sued her for $50 million, and she came back and countersued for $100 million. And the $7 million that he had to give her, she claimed that she was going to donate to domestic abuse and another charity, ASPCA or something like that. I forgot. And anyway, she ended up not. She got the money, the $7 million from Johnny, but she ended up not. She's still to this date, and she got the money back in 2015 or 16, and she still hasn't, made her honored her pledge, and she claims it's because Johnny sued her, but Johnny didn't sue her until like a year later, after she put out a press that he was domestically abusing her. And Johnny, like I said, it affected his career, so he sued. And then she claims it affected her career. Well, her career, of course, wasn't nearly as um, uh, what I want to say, rich as Johnny's. Johnny Depp has a lot of money, and he has he's played a lot of roles. I mean, I would have thought he, made pretty good, but this man has a lot of money, and I think that's why she was with him, even though she's saying that it wasn't for the money. But uh, based on what I've seen, I believe, and as well as if based on what the audience's comments are, most people are Team Johnny, and most people believe that she was in it for the money. And anyway, that's neither here nor there, but um, they've been trying to prove in this trial, spending millions of dollars with these attorneys trying to prove that, one team is right versus the other. Well, based on what I've seen, and I've seen a great deal of it, Johnny was a drunk, he was a druggie, as well as she seemed to be too, even though she claimed she didn't do very much more than mushrooms or whatever. But um, and when he was drunk or high, depending on the combination, because he did a lot of combinations and was no secret. He was open and honest about it. His moods affected their situation in different ways. But he claims he never, even though he may have been inappropriate, he never harmed her. He loved her, and that proof is almost, even though like I said, you want to try to be on the woman's side when somebody says they're abused. You want to say, okay, well, they'll probably be abused, but based on what's been shown, it seems as if she's abused him far more than he's abused her, and she's the one that's doing the hitting. But he didn't have any marks or anything to show up because he wasn't saying that she abused him. He was saying that she ruined his career coming out with the fact that he had been abusing her, which he said he didn't. He never did that. Which I'm more inclined to believe because she does not have one real photo of an abuse. I mean, you don't have to have, black eyes and your, mouth and lip all swollen and face all busted, but usually you got one picture over a year and a half, 2 or 3 years. I mean, this is the time they were only married like a year and a half, but their relationship spanned over from like 2011, 12. They met in 2011. I think they started dating around 2012 and they went all the way to 2016. So we're talking some time. And you don't have one picture? It's just hard to believe that he was actually an abuser like that, and this is why I think most people are Team Johnny because they're coming out when they do show these photos. She has a little rosacea on her cheeks. She has maybe a busted lip, which she could hit us. You don't want to think anything like that, but I mean, she's trying to win $100 million lawsuit. So, I mean, you have to come up with some. I need some Rihanna pictures. I mean, that's what, and I'm talking about not one. I mean, one would do even, but there's not even one. And so it's hard to really believe that that she actually was abused by him. He said, "Yeah, I was, drunk. I was I was an idiot. I acted inappropriately. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have done, but I didn't hit her anyway. I loved her, and I acted, out of control a lot of times. He said most of the time he was trying to get away, which seems to support when we're listening to the video and stuff. That seems to support what he was doing. He was trying to get away. She didn't want him to leave. It was more, no, stay, and it was more of a fight when he didn't want to leave. So and I know again, relationships should make you do wild and crazy things when you're in love with somebody, and you may want them to stay. But if they're beating you and stuff, you want them to leave. Yeah, it would seem like to me you would want to be so. And all the footage is just like, please stay. And then she's cussing as much as him, and hitting, and he's like, you're hitting me. He wasn't doing any hitting. And a person that is a hitter, I know somebody that if you hit him, honey, he gonna knock your head in the next week. And he's an abuser, and he will admit probably he's an abuser because he'll beat your ass straight up. So I just can't see it. I just don't see it. So I was hoping that the cross would be a lot better. I'm not saying that this attorney wasn't. They got a little young attorney in there, and she's pretty awesome. And unfortunately, she wasn't the one that was crossing. So I think this woman went a little lighter on the witnesses. So, but that's why I chimed in. I'm going to possibly stay with this trial because, like I said, it's really interesting. I hope I'm personally Team Johnny. I'd like to know what you think. If anybody that has watched, join in the comments and let me know. Do you think Johnny domestically abused Amber? Based on what I see, I don't think so. But again, he was a drunk, he was a druggie, he was a jerk. A lot of times, he was good at smashing things and throwing things, which isn't good. But she was the one that was doing the hitting. So that's why he sued her because he's like, you messed up my career, and he has a major career. Johnny's we're talking he gets millions of dollars a movie, and she gets maybe 1 million a movie. And I'm not saying that whether it's 1 million or 100 million, it makes a difference. But his career is really more at stake when if she's lying, and from what it looks like, he didn't abuse her, and she should have just took her little 7 million and tried to get. She said she was able to get 23 million, I guess, because that's how much he made, half of what he made during the year and a half that they were together. But she claims she didn't want it. I doubt that. But anyway, I just want to know how you think. If you've listened to any of the footage or you've seen any of the testimony, whether or not you think Johnny did that. He seems like he wouldn't do it. That's just based on what, and I know that could be an act too, but he seemed to be believable. She didn't. She told a lot of inconsistencies in her testimony. So I'm just wanting to know um, what your thought of this whole thing is. Please let me know in the comments and feel free to join the conversation. Till next time, bye. Stay safe and be blessed. I will be back on with more of their trial because, like I said, I think it's interesting. I like it. So, maybe we'll talk more. Thanks a lot for joining in and have an awesome evening. Bye.